What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new POV video. Now today you join me inside the all new Ford Ranger. This one in particular is the Super Cab body styling in Wildtrak trim. So we're just gonna go for a quick POV drive and have a bit of a chat about this car. So now I just want to take this moment and hop onto this road. It's clear. And off we go. So now with the Wildtrak, you get the 2-liter Biturbo diesel motor with 154 kilowatts, which is around 211 horsepower and 500 Newton meters of torque. It's mated to a 10-speed auto transmission, and yeah, that's pretty much all your engine stats, performance stats. So normally this isn't the best type of environment to experience the full package of this thing or its capabilities, because it's more about off-roading. But most people will drive these, they use them for commuting, they use them as daily cars and so on. So in terms of that perspective, it's actually quite good. The suspension feels more on the bouncy side, like most buckies, but I can live with bouncy because bouncy is actually quite comfortable, but it isn't all too bouncy. It's a very supple and comfortable feeling suspension. It actually does put some luxury cars to shame because it's that good. I think another thing that helps is it doesn't actually have big rims. They're only 18 inches, and on the exterior you can actually see how huge or how massive the tire profile is, which does aid in making the overall feel of the car, well, suspension, comfortable. Now in terms of the brakes, they're not the strongest feeling brakes. They just work. They're just brakes that work. It's not a performance car, it's not a sports car. So on this type of car, you just want brakes that work. Now this platform is actually available with a host of safety features like blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist. This one in particular is also spec'd with a 360 surround view camera system, which is very helpful in maneuvering the car, parking in tight spaces, and so on. Lane keep assist is currently operating. As you can see, there's a little graphic down there, and when it goes red, it means you're veering off the lines, and when it's green, it means you're perfectly centered. So the motor, it's punchy, it has enough power and torque, but the throttle isn't the most responsive, and also there is literally 10 gears to go through. So when you go foot flat, the car takes a few seconds to kind of figure out all the gears, figure out which gear you need, and off it goes. But once it has momentum, it's actually quite quick. So it's easy to pull overtakes and yeah, all of that type of jazz. So I'll demonstrate shortly the responsiveness of the motor and gearbox once we are more on a level plane. But in here, sound insulation is very good. There is very minimal tire noise, although I do hear some wind noise somewhere from above. I'm not really sure what it's coming from, but overall it's quite good, especially when you have the sound system on. You can't hear anything in here. So in terms of technicalities, the car is available with a host of driving modes. There's stuff like low range mode, high range mode. There's different driving modes for different terrains. Towing capacity is about 3.5 tons. The payload on the back is 985 kilograms. So it's a proper workhorse, basically. So I'll actually try to slow down a bit to maybe about 70-60 kilometers an hour. Immediately there's another curve. So we're in the 60s now. I'll go foot flat. So it does pick up fairly well. Just takes a few seconds to figure out the gears, and I'm impressed by how quick those gear shifts are. It shifts so quickly. So I'll try go foot flat again here. The gear changes are actually very quick. That is really impressive. And yeah, literally just finished filming a full review on this thing. So the POV is just a little bonus, and you get to get the perspective of being behind the wheel of this thing. So I'll keep the camera running for a few minutes, and yeah, I'll just keep it nice and chilled. It's an easy Sunday after all. This lane keep assist stuff can be a bit intrusive while you're driving, because the car keeps pulling me this way. It's like, nah, stay in the center, and you have to fight it. Oh no, relax a bit. But it's like that in pretty much every other car that I've driven with lane keep assist. Getting a bit hot in here. I'm gonna put some AC on. There we go. It's literally cool how you can veer off the road and the car brings you back to the center. Like literally my hands are not on the wheel now. Oh, it's crossed over the line. I was vouching for it and then it disappointed me. But yeah, after all, it doesn't have auto steering. It's just lane keep assist. So some cars also have auto steering, and it'll steer the whole car to stay in between the lines. So you can kind of have your hands off the wheel, although it's not recommended. But yeah, you can kind of have your hands off the wheel. Although after a while the car will start complaining. Or the cars that I've experienced with that feature. I've experienced it in the i30N. A totally different car to this one. But anyways. So also remember, the new Ford Ranger shares platforms with the new VW Amarok. They share a chassis. They share powertrains. They also share some tech, and inside, the layout of the interior looks similar with the vertical infotainment screen and the positioning of the air vents and all. So overall, they'll feel very similar since it's the same engines, same gearbox and stuff. It's just a difference in terms of looks. And it's funny how on the Amaroks, if you open the engine bay, you'll see a bunch of Ford badges all over. I guess Ford is the one that provides the engines. So in terms of which one I'd go for, I think it goes down to just looks, because everything else is pretty much similar on the cars. And I feel like the Ranger is the better looking of the two. I just love how distinctive it is with the front C-shaped daytime running lights. It's just so cool, and you can spot it from literally a mile away. We've encountered a bit of traffic, but there is a main road up ahead. I'll pull into it, and I think I'll just conclude the video right there. So the way the torque feels on this car, it doesn't feel like in a sports car or in a performance car where you feel the torque in your stomach, but the car just feels capable. It feels like it can just keep on going, can keep on delivering the power, and it'll be very handy in stuff like towing, getting up to speed, off-roading, that type of situations. Well, those types of situations rather. Oh, funny enough, there is a new Amarok behind me. What a coincidence. So I'll do a pull away now. So yeah, it doesn't feel dramatically fast. Fast is not what you look for in these types of vehicles. I'm just trying to describe to you guys what it feels like. So it doesn't feel dramatically fast, but it just keeps on going, just keeps on building momentum. The Amarok is right on my back. And with a car like this, you can't really take the curves quickly because it's very top heavy. Center of mass is literally up there. Amarok is coming in hot. It's so cool, eh? I was just talking about this car and it literally pulls up next to me. Ah, the view outside must be so cool of these things next to each other on the road like this. And hey, the Amarok driver is going. So let's test out the responsiveness of the gearbox when you're already at speed and going up an incline. Foot flat. And there's a stop sign right ahead. Oh, there's something literally on the road, a box. Supposed to turn at the next one. I think both myself and this driver in front got confused. He got a bit lost. So I'm supposed to turn here. And yeah, that is it from me to you guys. I'll leave off the video right here. I really hope you guys enjoyed the POV, and stay tuned for the full review, which is coming 4 days after this POV.